So in other videos, I sort of mentioned that I was working for different companies in the corporate world and trying to work my way up the corporate ladder. And so I thought I'd talk about one of those companies and the work that I did for them. We're going to be going through my plans that I made for Nintendo. So it took me about a month to create this presentation, to create these ideas and do the research and all the prep for it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so what was I making for Nintendo? What was the ideas that I was bringing to the table? So originally I was going to work as the social media manager, and during that process we were discussing ideas on what I would do as the social media manager and come up with a set of plans and ideas that we're about to discuss right now. So right now we have the social media presentation. I'll put up the slides during this edit so you'll be able to see it without trying to look in this small little screen. So we're going to talk about Nintendo's social media strategy for 2025. First off, we're talking about enhancing digital growth engagement. So the whole idea I was bringing to Nintendo for their social media, when I was in a position, I was researching and trying to bring an analysis of their current structure and how they're operating. And I had the idea that instead of using actors and personnel to market our products and to market Nintendo products, I thought it would be best to use Nintendo characters to market Nintendo products. That was sort of the baseline foundation of this idea. And so the next slide is bringing Nintendo characters to life. Establish individual social media accounts for Nintendo characters, cross-character interactions for a cohesive Nintendo universe, develop content that mirrors real-life social media trends, craft immersive storylines tailored to each character. And so we would have Mario. He would focus on his adventurous spirit, showcasing humorous and motivational posts that reflect his role as a hero. Before we continue on with the video, I just wanted to let you know about this video sponsor, me. So I wrote a book called The Aikido Empire. I published it in 2024. It took me about 7 months to write. You go ahead and check it out on Amazon. I'll leave it in the link in the description box down below. Let me know what you think of the book. Also, I have music on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. My name is Akito Yono. You can go ahead and check me out. Stream my music. Let me know which one's your favorite. And with that being said, let's continue on with the video. And so we have many other characters, for examples like Luigi, highlighting his quirky and sometimes timid personality with self-deprecating humor. Bowser, playfully leaning into his role as a villain while revealing a softer comedic side in specific interactions. Zelda emphasize her intelligence and grace, sharing inspiring and thought-provoking content. Donkey Kong feature his playful and fun-loving nature with lighthearted, energetic posts. And so the whole idea of using Nintendo characters to market Nintendo products stemmed from this idea of creating social media accounts for Nintendo characters. And so this next slide, you'll see an example of a Mario account on Instagram. So Mario's Instagram account, as you can see here, is for an example. Not only Instagram, but all social media will be targeting younger audiences or just Nintendo audiences in general. Instagram's popularity among Gen Z and millennials makes it an ideal platform to attract and retain a younger audience who may not yet be dedicated Nintendo fans. This can also be applied to Snapchat. It could be applied to TikTok. And so we are not only just wanting to target young audiences, but general audiences as well. And so we will have cross-platform synergy. Mario's Instagram can link to other digital platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, the Nintendo eShop, and increasing overall traffic and brand reach. We will also introduce this new feature that Instagram introduced that I thought was very interesting during my research, was paid subscriptions. Offering premium content like exclusive behind-the-scenes animated posts, early access to updates, or interactive Q&A sessions, followers could pay a monthly fee to access these perks. Now, this monthly fee would be relatively low. At first, I was thinking maybe $4.99, but maybe we can even go lower to maybe $1.99, $2.99. And this whole idea, as you can see in the example of Mario having open public stories and public posts versus sub-only posts and sub-only storylines. And so this idea came from mostly Instagram models who sell subscription services to their exclusive posts. So you feel like you have a one-on-one conversation. You get to converse via DM on Instagram, and you get to pay. Depending on the creator, some charge $7.99, some charge $11.99. The whole idea is that these models and creators are charging subscription fees on Instagram, on TikTok, and why couldn't we do the same way? So why couldn't we utilize that same feature but we could use it in a much better way. We could, like in the examples, post exclusive behind the scenes, exclusive artwork, exclusive wallpapers, digital content. And we could also post engaging videos that respond to viewers' questions and have a one-on-one video interaction with, let's say, Mario, with, say, Zelda. And that is what the consumer will be paying. And they'll be paying $1.99, $2.99, or $3.99, whatever the price would have been, to interact with Mario and interact with Zelda. And what we wouldn't want to do is go via the adult version, which is OnlyFans. That is what we would avoid. We weren't going to go towards that route because that's the more adult range of content. But that same premise of finding a creator that you like, that you're attracted to, and then paying a subscription to be able to have an interaction with that creator is valuable on the market. That's what we were trying to aim towards in that relevancy. And so we have another example for Mario's YouTube account, direct interaction with fans. So fans can engage with Mario through likes and comments, creating a sense of personal connection with the character. And also, we will introduce YouTube paid subscriptions, just like we would have with Instagram subscriptions and TikTok subscriptions. Offer premium content like exclusive behind the scenes, animated posts, early access to updates, or interactive Q&A sessions. Followers could pay a monthly fee to access these perks. Third-party marketing opportunities feature tie-ins with upcoming movies, music, or other popular media, such as Mario cosplaying as iconic characters, to promote cross-industry synergy. So this was the idea of collabing with other Nintendo characters. And so the whole idea of Nintendo having their characters promote their products along with other Nintendo characters is sort of creating a similar to VTubers, but it's animated Nintendo characters. And you're taking the lifestyle of content creators and the format of content creators, but you're using Nintendo characters in place of real life people. And that is what the idea was that I brought to the table was, let's market our social media, let's utilize as much as we can within the boundaries that we have. And so you can see an example of Mario's YouTube account. So the same sort of exclusive posts that we would post on Instagram and TikTok would also be posted on YouTube, but it'll be in a different format. So it'll be 16:9 on YouTube versus vertical format on Instagram and TikTok. And speaking of TikTok, we have an example of Mario's TikTok account. We could utilize viral trends by participating in popular social media challenges and memes, Mario doing the latest TikTok dance, or sharing Throwback Thursdays moments from classic games. The account can tap into trending content to go viral. Also, promotional campaigns. Use Mario's profile to tease new game releases, console updates, and merchandise drops. Posts could include countdowns, behind-the-scenes looks, and exclusive first reviews. Influencing purchase decisions. Through sponsored style posts, Mario can recommend Nintendo products like the latest Nintendo Switch model or themed toys, creating a subtle but effective marketing push. And so as you can see here from Mario's prototype TikTok account, you can see that we have a very similar icon for all accounts, so everything is consolidated into one image so that when you click on a Mario account, you know that that's Mario's account. And so we go on to Facebook. Facebook was more of a trying to hit a more older audience, maybe people in their 40s and 50s who loved Nintendo back in the 80s, who are on Facebook to sell digital collectibles and merchandise, sell digital wallpaper stickers or limited edition merchandise directly tied to Mario's Facebook campaigns. But we could also tie in physical merchandise, so we could link to the Nintendo website to shop for physical merchandise via the Facebook social media posts. We could utilize fan art and user-generated content features. This is for all social media, so not just for Facebook. Highlight user-generated content like fan art or cosplay, fostering a sense of community and engaging fans to create more content tied to Nintendo. Collaborations with influencers. Mario can collaborate with real-world influencers or other brands, creating a co-branded content that taps into new audiences. And so this was also an idea that's not just for Facebook, it's for all social media aspects. So the same idea of using the content creator format in lieu of using real people, we use Nintendo characters. Imagine Mario's video and Mario's content is going viral, it's trending. And then our next video, we would have Mario introduce the sponsor for the video. So for example, Mario could say this video is sponsored by the Nintendo eShop. This video is sponsored by the Nintendo Switch 2. So we would use Mario to use sponsorships. And who's to say we could use branded sponsorships who would want to sponsor on the Mario channel. So let's say if Warner Brothers had the Wicked movie coming out, They could sponsor a Mario YouTube video and say that, hey, we're the proud sponsors of Mario's YouTube channel. And this will be collaborations with other companies, the same way that content creators and social media influencers collaborate with other companies. But all of this is to drive character-driven storytelling. So Mario's profile can showcase his day-to-day adventures, his milestones, and fun moments, mimicking real-life content style that resonates with audiences. So where this idea came from was trying to create social media content, but use storylines to weld them and thread them all together. And so we could drop hints in other accounts. Let's say Zelda we have a Zelda account, and she's teasing that there's a new upcoming collaboration coming. And we could drop hints in Mario's account, and fans could decipher, oh, is it Mario? Is it Luigi? Who's going to show up on Zelda's account? But driving the story into all of these accounts. As we move on to the next slide, we have an example of Mario's Twitter account. We can utilize third-party marketing opportunities, like I mentioned before, feature tie-ins with upcoming movies, music, or other popular media. Interactive polls and posts ask fans questions like, what should Mario eat for breakfast? Or which level is your favorite? This would boost engagement while gathering valuable feedback. We could post daily updates, crafting posts that describe the daily lives of each character. Posts such as Peach, for example, she could post, just finished decorating the castle for the Mushroom Kingdom Winter Ball. What do you think of the royal set? Don't tell Mario, but I might challenge him to a dance-off. Hashtag just Peach, hashtag so on and so forth. So this would not just be random posts. This would all be in a cohesive storyline that's driving towards a narrative. That if you join onto the train, you'll be rewarded with all these stories that are being told through all of Nintendo's characters on their social media accounts. Okay, so on to the next slide. Our new social media strategy. Traditional social media content. The traditional marketing strategy has historically leveraged social media platforms to promote products and engage the audience. This traditional approach is effective, but underutilizes the emotional connection audiences have with Nintendo's beloved characters. By transitioning to a bold strategy that incorporates Nintendo's iconic characters directly into social media content, creating narratives, memes, or even character-hosted influencer-style posts, Nintendo could better leverage its existing IP to deepen brand loyalty and create a more engaging, character-driven online presence. So what we will be shifting from is the old style of social media marketing to a new social media strategy, which is character-focused social media content. By leveraging the emotional connection fans have with Nintendo's characters, this strategy will drive deeper engagement, strengthen brand identity, and expand Nintendo's reach in a bold, innovative way. So as you can see on the slide, on your left side, we have actors in ads and Nintendo advertisement promoting the Nintendo product. But on your right side, we have Mario and Peach playing the Nintendo. So this came from the idea that whenever I was watching Nintendo advertisement, I never felt connected to the actors because these actors, I don't recognize them. They have no name to them, so I don't know them. And so I have no connection to them. So it doesn't matter if it was someone of the same skin complexion or someone who came from a similar background than me, I still didn't connect to them. I had no reason to connect to them because there was no history there. And so whenever they were selling me a product, I really could care less about the product because I don't know you. I don't know what you're trying to sell me. You're just a paid actor that I don't know that was hired to sell a product. And so that's the old style of marketing, and that was brought into social media marketing. But what I wanted to do was use familiar faces to sell products. And so Nintendo has a wide plethora of familiar characters, such as, in this example, Mario and Peach. And the example that I provided in the slide, you see on the left side, a woman playing the Nintendo Switch on the bus. Now, this idea came to me because I was also on the bus, and when I was researching for this presentation on the bus, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be interesting if instead of seeing these actors that I don't know and are familiar to me, I saw Mario playing the Nintendo Switch on the bus. I saw Mario in an advertisement getting ready, getting up and ready to start his day, and then he takes the bus and he pulls out his Nintendo Switch and he's playing it on the ride over to the Mushroom Kingdom, ready to start his day for work. And so I thought that to me would have been such not only cool to see, but it would have spoke deeper to me as a fan of Nintendo. It would have resonated more with me because I'm familiar with, obviously, with Mario, and also I'm a fan of Nintendo. So seeing Nintendo characters use Nintendo products, it doesn't feel like I'm being sold to. It just feels like I'm watching something that's a natural occurrence. Like, of course, Mario would be using Nintendo products. And so that is the idea and the example of where I had in my mind of instead of having actors who were not familiar with playing the Nintendo Switch looking happy and enjoying the product, we can actually have, let's say, Yoshi running around, and then Luigi trying to calm him down, and then he's called to the Nintendo Switch. He's trying to get his day ready, but Yoshi keeps on messing up his day by running around and messing up the house. But let's say that he finally gets Yoshi to calm down, and then he cleans the whole the house, and then he's finally exhausted, and he picks up a Nintendo Switch ready to relax and play a Nintendo game. And so that is the idea of where I want to go towards for the new social media strategy. So it's going to be a lot of slides on here that are just jargon for corporate. So you can take your time to read it and pause the video and read it, but we're really going to move on from some of these jargon slides, but we'll just read this one for now. For digital engagement growth, leverage iconic Nintendo intellectual properties in order to drive engagement, aligning with digital trends to expand reach and deepen fan connections, monetizing collaborative and innovative content with third-party partners to boost engagement, become an industry-leading platform in social media trends and digital monetization practices. Optimizing team operations. So in this part of the presentation, the whole idea is that we wanted to create an in-house team to utilize Nintendo characters. And what we were going to do is use the VTuber system works and the way that motion capture works. We wanted to utilize Nintendo characters in that same similar system. However, in order to do so, we would need to be crafting high quality assets. So we would need to utilize 3D renders in Blender with mocap programs. So this was one method that we were going to use, using new 3D renders of Nintendo characters using Blender for rigging and motion capture. Allows full creative control and customization of the assets. Blender is a free and open source visual effects software that offers powerful tools for producing high quality professional grade 3D models and animations at a fraction of the cost of proprietary software. And so as you can see, we were going to craft, the idea was crafting more than 150 Nintendo characters and using Blender. That was the original idea. And using a mocap program to able to animate the Nintendo character according to the content that we were going to make for social media. And so the advantages and the considerations for crafting high quality assets, they're all listed up here. But like I said, there's a lot of jargon in this presentation, so we're just going to skim past this, but you can pause and read it if you like. We'll go on to the next slide. And so this was also another option that we could have used, which was reusing Universal and Illumination's 3D renders. Now, I didn't know the licensing agreement that Nintendo had with Universal, so this relatively could have been an easy solution, but that was just one option we could have went to. So on the next slide, this was my favorite option. This is the option that I wanted to head towards, using Adobe's Turntable tool. Now, when I had researched this had not come out yet. And I'm pretty sure by the time of me filming this video, it still hasn't come out yet. Using Adobe's Turntable tool to convert 2D to 3D animations can significantly streamline the process of creating content for Nintendo's character social media profiles. And so you can see from this example that Adobe is using AI to convert a 2D animation asset into a 3D asset. And this was going to be a very cool thing to use because Nintendo already has so many 2D assets, just picture frames of Mario. There's so many versions of Mario that Nintendo already has. And so instead of starting from the bottom and recreating Mario, we have so many, probably thousands of Mario assets that we can simply turn into 3D assets. Those 3D assets we were going to plug into Blender and then use mocap to animate that 3D asset. And so you could have a old-fashioned Mario character like this one, a 2D asset, a PNG, and then convert it using Adobe's AI tool into a 3D asset. And then this 3D asset we will plug into Blender. And then Blender we will be using the mocap program to animate this asset of Mario. And so we had the possibility of creating endless amount of content with endless amount of character assets using this method that I personally preferred. And so the reasons why to use this method would be to save time. Instead of creating 3D assets from scratch in Blender, existing 2D animations can be quickly transformed into high-quality 3D models, drastically reducing production timelines, as well as reducing cost. The process minimizes the need for extensive manual labor and highly specialized 3D artists, lowering overall production expenses. It will maintain the original style. By converting Nintendo's existing 2D assets, the tool preserves the iconic look and feel of the characters while upgrading them for a dynamic 3D use. It also boosts content creation efficiency. The ability to rapidly generate 3D animations allows the teams to produce a higher volume of content, keeping character profiles active and engaging without overextending resources. And so I mentioned earlier about creating over 150 characters, but what I had originally thought of was just as a start, crafting over 120 characters. Now, using the methods that I just mentioned before, my personal preferred method, which was using Adobe's AI tool, would be a step-by-step process of creating 120 Nintendo character assets and environments using Blender, the Adobe Photoshop tool, and Adobe's AI Max tool within a 2-month timeline with a team of 2 animators and 3 graphic designers. The benefit of using AI programs is that it reduces cost of creating content, but also keeps the quality at a maximum level. And so instead of trying to hire a whole team of animators, let's say 10, 15, 20, which would drive costs up, I could use a small team of 3 to 2 animators and 3 graphic designers and teach them to use this program that converts 2D assets to 3D assets, plug them into Blender. As long as they're efficient and knowledgeable about Blender and the small cap program, then that streamline of efficiency will save us a lot of costs and will save us a lot of time, which is why I mentioned a 2-month timeline, which I really think I could have done. How we would have done this is in the next couple slides. So, planning and pre-production for week 1, define the scope, create a detailed list of characters, variations, and environments to be developed, prioritize assets based on importance, assign roles, animators, focus on character rigging, movement, and 3D modeling in Blender, graphic designers, handle concept art, texture creation, and environment design in Photoshop and Blender, all of which would be easier to do using Adobe's AI tool. Set milestones, divide the team into weekly goals, plan for buffer time in the final week for quality assurance and revisions, gather references, collect 2D assets, existing models, and environment details for inspiration and reference. So week 2 to 4, we would have asset conversion and 3D modeling. We would leverage Adobe's AI tool to convert existing 2D character animations and designs into base 3D models. Ensure all character variations are included during this conversion process. We will refine the models in Blender. Animators will polish the 3D models, ensuring that they match Nintendo's quality standards, create dynamic rigs and posable models for social media animations. We will develop textures in Photoshop. Graphic designers would create detailed textures and color schemes for characters and variations, using Photoshop's AI tools to streamline repetitive tasks like pattern creation. Create modular environments. Start building modular assets for environments. Ensure environments are reusable and adaptable for various character settings. Now, weeks 5 to 6, we will do animation and environment integration. Animate key poses. Animators focus on key character movements for social media content. Create loopable animations to save time for future posts. Integrate characters and environments. Place characters in their respective environments, ensuring lighting, textures, and scales are consistent. Test interactions between characters and their surroundings to ensure realism. And finally, quality assurance. Review each asset for consistency with Nintendo's style and brand. Make necessary adjustments to textures, animations, or environmental details. And finally, week 7 to 8, we will perform asset finalization and delivery. Render final assets, batch render final character assets and environments in Blender, use Adobe Photoshop for post-processing and a bit of touch-ups, organize and export files, categorize assets into folders based on characters, variations, and environments, export in formats compatible with social media, prepare for future use, create templates for quick updates or for new content, document workflows and file organization for easy handoff to other teams. Final review and approval. Conduct a final team review to ensure all assets meet the project's goals. Submit assets for approval. And so the point of all of this would be to stay on track. Daily check-ins, ensure everyone knows their tasks and addresses roadblocks promptly. Leverage automation. Use AI tools for repetitive tasks like texture creation or environment detailing. Focus on reusability. Build modular assets that can be used across variations. Time management, allocate time wisely, focus on quality for key characters and environments. And so that is all preparation. So those first 2 months would just be prepping for the ability for us to create content using Nintendo characters. Now, this will be the step-by-step process for monthly content creation and post workflow. So the next few slides will be after prep. So what we just went through was all prep. What we're going to go into now is how we would be operating on the day-to-day basis when we have all these character assets already finalized. By following a structured approach, the team can maintain a high-quality, consistent content output for 50-plus character social media accounts while meeting deadlines. So, week 1, pre-production planning. The kickoff will be led by me as the director. Gather all team members to review the goals, themes, and priorities for the upcoming month. Assign specific responsibilities to each team member, including animators, designers, user-generated content specialists, and community managers. Content calendar development. Plan the posting schedule for each character's social media account, including key dates, and allocate specific themes or storylines to characters. And next, script and storyboard creation. Develop scripts or storyboards for videos, animations, and static posts. Ensure content aligns with Nintendo's brand identity and appeals to the target audience. Approval of concepts. Submit all proposed ideas for approval before production begins. And so that is just week 1. And so how we were going to do it is that we would plan for a month ahead. And so if we started in January, we will be planning for February. So all the content of February will be prepared and made in January. And so weeks 2 to 3 will focus on asset production. Content creation. Animators create high quality 3D animations and short video clips for character interactions / narratives using motion capture technology. Graphic designers design static images, infographics, and themed templates for posts. User-generated content specialists source or create additional content that resonates with community trends, leveraging AI tools for efficiency. Collaboration with cultural consultants and translators. Work with consultants to adapt content for different regions, ensuring cultural sensitivity and relevance. Quality assurance. Review each piece of content to ensure consistency in tone, visuals, and messaging. Test animations and graphics for platform compatibility. Week 4 will focus on content finalization and scheduling. Content assembly. Compile all finished content into folders categorized by character and platform. Ensure each piece of content is optimized for its intended platform. For example, the aspect ratios, captions, and hashtags. Approval and feedback. Present finalized content for a final review, incorporate feedback, and make necessary revisions before scheduling. Automated scheduling. Use social media management tools, example Hootsuite and Sprout Social, to schedule posts for the entire upcoming month, include pre-written captions, hashtags, and links to ensure seamless posting. And now that those 4 weeks are over, the month of January is over. Now let's say we go into the next month of February. Posting and engagement. Daily posting by community managers. And so after the team has created a month's worth of content, we're going to hand that content over to community managers. The community managers will post the content according to the predetermined schedule, monitor engagement metrics to assess performance. Community interactions. The community managers will respond to fans' comments and messages to foster engagement. Collaborate with user-generated content specialists to share fan-created content on official pages. And so the content that we created in January wouldn't just be the only content. We would have community managers in January look for user-generated content and plan that alongside our in-house content that would be uploaded and posted in February. Real-time adjustments. Adapt scheduled posts if new trends or events emerge that align with Nintendo's brand. So by the end of each month, we will conduct a monthly review and reports. Use data analytic tools to measure the success of the month's content, identify top performing posts, and analyze what contributed to their success. We'll debrief the team, conduct a team meeting to review performance data, and discuss areas for improvement. Gather feedback from community managers and culture consultants to refine future content strategies. Adjust content plans. Incorporate learnings into the content creation process for the next month. Update the content calendar and share it with the team to begin the cycle anew. And so that is what the day-to-day and the month-to-month would look like on the team. And this next slide is just a slide for some notes to take into account for success. Strong coordination, efficiency tools, consistent tone, preparedness, and so on and so forth. And so in this slide, we're going to be talking about streamlining the team's operations and collaborations. And so whenever I entered the corporate world and the corporate industry, I was bothered by the fact that almost everybody was using Microsoft Windows. Now for me, I did use Microsoft PowerPoint for this presentation. And so I'm not totally against Microsoft. However, I am severely against Microsoft hardware. I am more of a Apple Mac hardware person. To me, the Apple system, the Mac OS system, is more streamlined and more easier to share and use than using Microsoft Windows. My position was to utilize both platforms. And so I was not against using computer hardware to render the 3D models in Blender for more power, but I wanted to use Mac OS, the ecosystem there, for most of the back-end work, like sharing assets and sharing scheduling and so on and so forth. By leveraging Apple computers with its secure iCloud infrastructure, the team can streamline content sharing, maintain organization, and ensure a high level of data security, all while promoting efficient collaboration across roles. And so we will be using iCloud Drive to store and to organize all of these character assets and content creations that we would create. And so the next slide is just discussing that idea in more detail. So provision Apple devices, create team iCloud accounts, organize folder structure, workflow and sharing, file uploads, sharing permissions, real-time collaboration, cross-device access. And so this next slide is just another example of just technical jargon. So leveraging data of analytics specifically for Nintendo's character social media accounts, utilization of metadata tracking. So the next couple of slides just go deeper into the metadata utilization of tracking the metadata and analyzing that. Finally, analytical data research and usage. This is a lot of jargon, so feel free to pause and read them if you like. But for the video's sake, we're just going to move on. And so the Digital Expansion and Engagement Division, this was called, I termed it DEED. So this is going to be the DEED team. To execute the Nintendo social media growth strategy effectively, we will need a team with diverse expertise in social media management, content creation, analytics, and creative collaboration. Here are some recommended positions along with their roles and average annual salaries in the United States. And so since I'm the one who created this idea and started this whole presentation, I am team leader. I would oversee and manage the team strategy while ensuring alignment with Nintendo's goals. As the team leader, I would occupy the positions of social media strategist, creative director, project manager, and brand partnership manager. Leadership and strategy. And so this slide describes my responsibilities and what I'll have to perform as team leader. As the social media strategist, develop detailed campaign strategies for each character's social media account, including trends and collaborations. Creative director for digital content, leads the creation of visually appealing and engaging content, including video, animation, and graphics. Project manager oversees timelines, deliverables, and coordination between departments. Brand partnership manager manages collaborations with artists, influencers, and third-party partners like Warner Brothers or Studio Ghibli. And now the rest of the slides would be our creative team, the people we would hire to join the team. We would hire graphic designers, video content producers, illustrators and animators, and a couple of writers. We would hire the community managers, user-generated content specialists, and cultural consultants and interpreters. On the team, we would also have technical administrative support, technical support specialists, administrative assistants, analytics and optimization, social media analysts, SEO, content optimization specialists. And so that would be the team that I was going to lead, and this team would have created everything that we just went through. And so our headquarters would be at Nintendo's Washington headquarters, and that would act as the strategic hub for global social media operations, providing oversight, resources, and directions to regional D teams in Japan, South Korea, and other key markets. And so the core function of the D team is to align strategic oversight between regional branches and make sure that we all align with Nintendo's global objectives. To monitor and analyze social media trends and campaign performance to optimize content across all platforms, content coordination, collaborate with regional D teams to curate culturally resonant content. Now we're going to go into more detail on what the South Korea and the Japan teams were going to do. And my role in that would be flying back and forth between the Washington headquarters and the Japan team and the South Korea team. Because what we wanted to do is hit those markets with specialized content curated for those regions. And so in Japan, whenever you're interacting with Mario, you'll be getting Mario content specifically for the Japanese audience. Same with South Korea, the same with Washington. But Washington would mostly represent the Western world, such as America, the UK, and so on and so forth. We were eventually going to have other branches. So for the South America branch, the China branch, can't really do Russia right now. But if that were to happen, then we could have a Russia branch. But with all that being said, the team size for the US in total was going to be about 15 to 20 staff. The global team, for just 3 branches, the US, South Korea, and Japan, was going to be about 45 to 60 staff. The annual cost for the US team would be $1.2 million to $2 million. And then the global cost of all 3 branches would be between $3.6 million and $6 million annually. And now we go into the global team, which would start with Japan and South Korea in those markets. In an effort to expand Nintendo's global reach, the Digital Expansion and Engagement Division will be established in the Japanese and South Korean markets. Here's an overview of potential costs and planning considerations for setting up those teams. And so we had the idea of setting up in Japan and South Korea, creating content specifically for those markets. But in order to do so, would require a lot of planning and would require a plan. And so the next couple of slides is that plan. The step 1 will be preparation in the US, conduct market research on the social media landscape in South Korea and Japan, coordinate with Nintendo's regional offices in those markets to schedule meetings and discuss local hirings for office spaces, develop tailored strategies for South Korea and Japan. Step 2, execution in South Korea. And so I'll have to relocate to South Korea for about 3 months, recruit and onboard team members in collaboration with Nintendo's HR, train the team in our methodologies and our strategy, focusing on their local trends, and then finally begin initial campaigns to test engagement and refine strategy. So exactly what we were going to do in the US, that month strategy that I told you between January and February for those examples, we were going to do the exact same thing in South Korea and Japan. Step 3, after I had set up in South Korea, I would go to Japan, relocate to Japan for 3 months, following a similar process, launch the initial campaigns to assess performance. And while I was abroad, I would still be assisting with the US team and the South Korea team over virtual meetings. After all that said and done, after I have established the South Korea branch and the Japan branch, I would go back to Washington, consolidate the findings and success from both markets. I would also provide ongoing support to all branches remotely, while also present outcomes and future plans to Nintendo HQ executives, and then revisit the Japan and Korea teams after a 6-month period. And so after I had done all that stuff, I would be in the Washington branch for about 6 months. But after that would be finished, if I had to fly back between those 6 months, I would have to if there was an emergency or something that needed my physical presence. But if not that, then I would fly to the Japan branch and the South Korea branch on an annual basis for quality assurance. And so the next couple of slides just go more into detail about the cost and budgeting of this plan. So in order to establish a global presence and a global headquarters, we will need office space. And so the next couple of slides just go over the office spaces that we would have been looking into in South Korea and Japan. And so South Korea, the prices here, you would see about $300 per person for a maximum 24-month contract. That would be for service offices, but you can also do private offices. Here we have the estimated costs for the monthly rent and the annual rent. And then same with the Japan office. As you can see on the slides, there's some examples of how the office will look like. The costs for the office annually and monthly. And also we have the additional considerations for initial setup costs, operational expenses, also some recommendations. Go ahead and pause the video and take a deep look into these slides. And so for the office budget summary for South Korea, we will be set up in Seoul, and it will cost around $80,000 a year just for the office. It could fluctuate $70,000 to $90,000 for 15 employees. Additional cost, estimated additional 20-30% for setup and operational expenses. Japan is a little bit more expensive, about $100,000 a year for 15 employees. And this one we had to estimate an additional 30 to 40% for setup and operational expenses. So here for the last slide for this segment, we have estimated global initiative budget. The plan for establishing the global team would be about $78,000 and $180,000. And so as we go on to the next slide, we're going to go over the financial growth strategy. So all of these ideas are great to hear, but they really mean nothing if you can't get the finance behind it. And so the next couple of slides, we're going to go over the financing and how we would recuperate all the money that we would be spending to set up this whole idea, and how it could increase Nintendo's profits every financial quarter. And so how we would increase Nintendo's profits would be by cumulative revenue growth using subscription models. And so by utilizing this idea in our plan as a whole, Nintendo's profits would increase using the subscription model. This plan would increase merchandise sales. We would have new sponsorships that we didn't have before, and it will also increase game sales. And so for the next couple slides, we have generating revenue through subscription models. This goes in depth into how we would generate revenue via this model. Here you can see more data metrics and analytics on how we would perform this task and how we would achieve this goal. Here we also have the cost and how much it would cost to generate all of this content and how much we would receive in net profits versus the accumulated costs that it would take to perform this plan. So if you want to go more in depth into the financial plan, I suggest going over these slides. And if you're a financial expert and just a nerd in finance and business, go ahead and check out the slides and let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. We're getting close to finishing, and so for one of our final segments, we're going to be talking about global collaborations. Expanding partnerships by leveraging Nintendo's beloved characters with renowned artists can create a powerful synergy that boosts product visibility, diversifies its revenue streams, and solidifies its global digital presence. And so I wanted to use social media marketing in Japan and South Korea by expanding partnerships with renowned Japanese and Korean artists through Nintendo social media character profiles, which could provide significant financial benefits to the company by driving digital engagement and increasing revenue opportunities. It would enhance brand visibility by collaborating with popular artists such as G-Dragon, New Jeans, aespa, etc. Nintendo can tap into their vast global fan bases. These artists can bring millions of engaged followers, allowing Nintendo's characters and products to gain exposure to new diverse audiences. Increased partnership opportunities. Collaborating with Korean and Japanese artists positions Nintendo as a brand that resonates with global pop culture trends. This appeal makes the company an attractive partner for sponsorships and cross promotions. For example, brands that have worked with these artists in the past, such as fashion, tech, or food companies, may be more inclined to collaborate with Nintendo, creating mutually beneficial campaigns and revenue streams. And so we will also use global collaborations to increase our subscription revenue. Exclusive content featuring Korean and Japanese artists interacting with Nintendo characters can be offered through subscription models on platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. Fans may subscribe to gain access to unique content such as behind-the-scenes videos, artist-curated gameplay sessions, or special animations featuring both the artists and Nintendo characters. These subscriptions provide recurring revenue streams. This will also boost merchandise and game sales. Content created in collaboration with Korean artists can generate hype for Nintendo products, such as games, consoles, and merchandise. For example, a campaign where S-Bot interacts with Mario and Princess Peach while promoting the Nintendo Switch can create a buzz that directly boosts sales. Fans are more likely to purchase products endorsed by their favorite artists, especially if the campaigns feel exclusive or limited. We would also be utilizing viral marketing and user-generated content. Collaboration with artists are likely to generate viral trends, inspiring fans to create user-generated content related to Nintendo characters. For instance, a viral TikTok challenge featuring Mario and an artist dancing to a trending song can amplify engagement organically, furthering increasing Nintendo's reach without additional advertising costs. And so we come to the final part of our presentation, which is social media and beyond. The Nintendo social media plan provides a forward-thinking strategy to enhance Nintendo's digital presence, engage global audiences, and maximize the potential of our beloved characters. By creating dedicated social media profiles for iconic characters like Mario, Zelda, Kirby, and Donkey Kong, we can deepen fan connections and increase engagement, and drive significant growth in game sales, merchandise revenue, and digital subscriptions. This approach not only modernizes Nintendo's brand, but also positions it as a leader in digital storytelling and character-driven engagement. Looking ahead, I envision a groundbreaking step forward, creating a new social media platform centered around the Nintendo universe. This platform will act as a dynamic, interactive space where fans can explore, interact with, and immerse themselves in the worlds of their favorite characters. Inspired by the innovative concepts of PlayStation Home, Astrobot, and the imaginative world building of Wreck-It Ralph, this platform would bring the Nintendo universe to life, blending the charm of me-inspired community with cutting-edge interactivity. This vision would extend beyond a mobile app, incorporating a dedicated video game that allows users to roam and explore the Nintendo universe. Fans could engage in adventures, participate in character-led events, and interact with a thriving community of players, bridging the gap between gaming, social media, and community building. So all that would mean is building the Nintendo social universe. And so you see a slide here, you have a platform that's very similar to PlayStation Home, but with the look and feel and style of an Animal Crossing. And so you would enter this Nintendo social universe, whether it be on a mobile app or on the Nintendo Switch, and you could walk around the universe and walk around the platform and purchase, let's say, exclusive digital content like stickers and wallpapers via the platform. So the same way in Animal Crossing, where you want to purchase something from the vendor, you would have to use fake currency. But in this social universe, you would use real currency, but you would get something in return. So you could actually order something and have it shipped to you. So if I want to go to the vendor in the style of an Animal Crossing, and I want to order something, I could order with real money and have it shipped to me. So if I want to order an exclusive Mario comic book, or if I want to order an exclusive Mario wallpaper, I could order it via the social universe, this platform, in the style of Animal Crossing. Not only is this engaging but immersive, but it's also forward-thinking, and it's able to utilize other ideas that might have been too early or just wasn't fully thought out. But this idea I really believe in, and I still hope one day it could come true. And so finally, thank you for taking the time to explore this exciting vision for Nintendo's future through the creation of character-centric social media accounts. By bringing Nintendo's beloved characters like Mario, Zelda, Luigi, and others closer to fans, we unlock new opportunities to engage audiences, drive brand loyalty, and generate substantial revenue across digital platforms. This presentation serves as the foundation for what's to come. These initiatives promise to elevate Nintendo's presence in the digital age while staying true to its legacy of innovation and creativity. And that is the presentation, the Nintendo 2025 social media strategy presentation. Overall, as a presentation, it took about 90 slides, and it took me about 1 month to make. So I had started in mid-December, and I had finished in early January. So about 3 to 4 weeks, so not entirely a month, but almost a month. And so hopefully you enjoyed this presentation of what could have been Nintendo's social media strategy for 2025. Hopefully some of these ideas still come true and still come to pass, but who's to say? Keep your fingers crossed, maybe something comes about it. But if not, you have a look into what could have been the Nintendo social media platform. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell notification so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. And that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.